What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Dgotsauce back with another live stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if y'all are new.
All right, we've been.
Oops, a little bit ahead of myself. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all for real. Y'all been definitely showing a lot of love lately, and I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've been on the live, but I've been busy just transitioning with life and getting things together in real life, you know what I mean? So I had to, put some stuff on break for a second, just to make sure that I am good, pretty much, to continue. But yeah, we back, man. We back, and we have some stuff to talk about. We got a lot of news since we last chatted. Our latest episode was a very, 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 very beautiful episode. It was long, very long. It was about Charlie Kirk, and we had very good discussions about it in the chat, and people that tuned in and told their opinions and said how they felt about it and all that stuff. It was a very good show. And we've moved on from that now, a couple weeks now, and life still goes on. Unfortunately, death does not stop life from just keep moving on. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all, man. I really do. Life moves on. We got life to go, and we got life to live too. So I hope you live in life to the fullest. And we gonna take it from there, man. I hope you guys are doing well. I really do. Hit that like button for your boy. We're gonna move on to the subjects and go into this, man. It's been a productive couple weeks, I'll tell you, man. I really accomplished a lot in the last 2 weeks, and life is just going great, man. I can't complain. I hope y'all can hear me good. Please let me know if y'all can't hear me, but life is going great. Life is really going great. For some people, it's not. And I really hope that the best comes for you. I really do hope that you're pushing to be great, and I hope that you're doing what you have to do. But life is really good, man. God is really good. I'm blessed to be in the position I'm in, and we just happy to be here, man. We just happy to be here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get into it, though. The subject is right now, we talking about ICE. ICE has hit Chicago. Let's tune into the video, see what's going on out here in these streets.
We've been following these protests for weeks now outside the ICE facility in Broadview. And then not far from the Bean, right there, we saw patrols over the weekend, ICE agents. That was a big development over the weekend in the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. Dozens of ICE agents seen patrolling downtown Michigan Avenue. In addition to the boat patrols we saw on the Chicago River, they've been met by protesters, and the National Lawyers Guild is monitoring the situation with these protests. Joining us now with more on their efforts is volunteer lawyer Brad Thompson. Brad, thank you for being in studio. We appreciate it.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
What can you tell us about arrests when it comes to the clashes that we have seen locally between ICE agents and protesters specifically?
Sure. So the National Lawyers Guild, we're a volunteer legal organization made up of lawyers, legal workers, and law students. We have a mass defense program that responds to protests and observes them. We have trained legal professionals observing protests. And what our legal observers have noted is not clashes so much as one-sided attacks by law enforcement, federal agents against people demonstrating. So this is at the Broadview facility. People are gathering, protesting, exercising their First Amendment rights, and they've been met with projectiles, chemical weapons. Our legal observers have personally been shot at and hit with pepper balls simply for doing their job, trying to observe these protests and document what's happening. So we've seen this sort of indiscriminate use of force that's targeted not only people who are protesting, but also legal observers and members of the press who've also been subjected to this and arrested themselves.
Okay, one of the, I believe it was a woman who spoke to us 3 days ago, this past Friday, said that she and a couple of others were hit by these pepper balls as they were signing, and I think S-I-G-N, signing the fencing outside of there. Could that be seen as an act of aggression by the ICE agents? And were there any that were actively getting in the way of those ICE agents trying to get to and from or in and out of the facility? And could that, in any legal sense, be justification for the for that aggression that you kind of alluded to there?
Right. So the use of force, there's laws that govern what kinds of force that law enforcement can use in response to protests.
How I feel about it is simple. This ICE movement is not new. It's not new to my knowledge. This is something that's been happening for years. And thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Fulio fan. Thank you, Pablo. And it really isn't like a surprise to me that this stuff is happening, but the way that they're going about it, appreciate you. The way that they're going about it, it makes you question. It does make you question some things. That's all I gotta say.
And if there's some sort of threat, they can respond there. What our legal observers have seen is this being shot not only when the gates are open and vehicles are coming in and out, and at those points, the officers are apparently indiscriminately firing at everyone.
Okay.
But we're also seeing, even when the gates are open, people standing there chanting. I was there the other night in an attempt to visit one of my clients, two of my clients actually, who were arrested. These are U.S. citizens protesting outside of the fence who were arrested, taken inside, and I was trying to visit them. I was unable to have an in-person visit, and what I witnessed myself was people chanting, speaking about violence, speaking out against violence by law enforcement, speaking out against violence generally, and officers, without warning, firing those pepper balls at a crowd of about 20 or 30 people with the fence closed. This really does appear to be First Amendment retaliation, both with the force used as well as the arrests. We've had 28 arrests in total in the last 2.5 weeks at the Broadview facility.
Okay, so what's happening then? You said you tried and failed to see that, or were you able to get inside and talk to your clients?
I was unable to get inside to visit with my clients.
Okay, so what is this? Okay, 28. How long are they being detained? Is there a jail?
ICE is not playing around,
this is a
man.
Federal operation, not a local. I'm more.
ICE ain't playing around, and this is nothing new. I'll be honest with you. This does not only happen in America. This is happening all throughout the world too, honestly. You can't be in any other country and get away with some of the stuff that people are doing in America. And of course you got some type of you feel type of bad for these people sometimes, because you're like, dang, why they gotta be taken away like this? They have rights, all this stuff. And you're like, yeah, they do have rights, but they also was breaking the law. They were also breaking the rules of the country. And honestly, I know how you feel about it, but this is the rules. This has been the law for a minute now. If you don't like these laws, if you don't like what's going on, then that's where you come in and you say you have to vote for the side that fits you more accordingly. But for the most and a majority of America, this is exactly what they wanted to happen.
Familiar with what happens when you're taken to 26th and Cal, for example, processed, and a bond hearing and everything like that. But what is happening to these protesters who are U.S. citizens?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we're also more used to that traditional procedure. So what has happened here is people have been seized just outside the facility, brought into the facility, and then released. Some of them have been released right unseen and able to walk out the gate. Some of them have been driven elsewhere. So the two clients I was attempting to visit, I was looking through the gate, through the fencing, and saw them put into an unmarked SUV and driven to two separate locations. One was dropped off at a gas station about half a mile away, and one was taken to another location in a different town.
What is your understanding of the legality of that?
This raises serious constitutional concerns. These are First Amendment rights Fourth Amendment rights, Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights. These are rights to counsel that were being denied.
Absolutely.
And this puts us in serious concern, not only to the protesters, but these are the agents who are also responding to immigration concerns. So these same people who are often unidentified, no name tags, no badges. I didn't see any names, any badge numbers, any body-worn camera on any of the dozens of officers that I saw that night, and many of them had their faces covered.
One more question, and we're really running out of time, so it's got to be quick. But in your mind, what would be an appropriate approach? Have you seen anything kind of approach the limit where protesters are really getting close to that line where it's like, okay,
actual footage.
An aggressive response would be justified in that situation?
So again, the law always allows for that type of situation. I didn't witness that at all, and the reports we've seen from our legal observers has been that this has been unprovoked attacks.
Okay, Brad Thompson, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For offering.
All right, cool. Let me know how y'all feel about that down in the comments below, if you don't mind. I'd really like to know y'all thoughts. But there's actual stuff happening that we want to see, right? We don't want to just hear what the reporters have to say. We don't, but let's see some action, right? Let's see what's actually going on.
Well, this was the most
in Chicago.
Intense escalation between protesters and federal agents that we've seen at this Broadview ICE facility since it opened up. We're out here at 25th and Lexington, about 2 blocks away from Beach Street, which leads right up to that facility. We don't exactly know what led up to all of this. All we know is that protesters were up there on that metal fence doing their thing, chanting. Some of them were tapping on that fence when suddenly it opened up. Guards said something to the protesters before tossing out several canisters of tear gas. That is when they ran down the street, all of the protesters, as the guards followed them with, continuing to fire off pepper bullets, which some of those hit our photojournalist here, Jeff Freeman, at the time as we all tried to evacuate from the scene.
They took over the streets.
Completely shut down that street leading up to the facility, and we have now moved away from that area. Now, all of this comes after the Attorney General Pam Bondi posted this morning saying there will be more resources being sent to Chicago. We have seen that in full force today as they have sent a message to protesters of no tolerance. Contentious moments continue between protesters and federal agents outside the ICE processing facility in Broadview. Today, a more forceful operation to control the crowd processing facility in Broadview. The protesters and federal agents outside the ICE processing facility in Broadview. Today, a more forceful operation to control the crowd of protesters as Border Patrol agents arrive to the facility.
They said they can't do this in
Federal agents
Chicago.
making it clear to protesters that they must clear the roads or they will be detained. Throughout the day, agents chased down some protesters and detained them while also coming out to take any kind of shields or umbrellas from the crowd. Protesters believe the use of force has gone too far.
We oppose this kind of authoritarianism that is invading our city and suburbs. It's not helping anyone.
Earlier today, U.S. Attorney...
This is going to get violent very soon. Unfortunately, this whole thing is a mess. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to just say it like that because I'm tired of, people, feeling some type of way about this whole thing. It is a mess. It's a mess. That's what's going on right now in Chicago. But it is also a mess what has been going on when it came to crime before they even got there. And everybody's just pushing this aside like that doesn't matter. Who cares? People are actually trying to do something about it, and I give them props for doing that. Now, could they have gone about it a little bit better? We'll see. We'll see.
General Pam Bondi posted on social media directing more federal agents to ICE facilities across the country, including Chicago.
We'll see
after several escalations between protesters and federal agents over the last few weeks in Broadview, Bondi says there will be no tolerance moving forward.
More than 200 violent rioters were at a Chicago ICE facility chanting, "Arrest ICE, shoot ICE." At least one had a gun. We've seen this before. We saw it in Portland and with the LA riots. These are not peaceful protests. These are coordinated attacks by radical extremists, and they end now.
Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bavino also arrived to the Broadview facility today. He did not answer questions from reporters as he led operations on the ground. Crowd-controlling measures like pepper bullets were deployed several times in an attempt to push protesters back. A local immigration lawyer was a part of that crowd today, as she says these federal agencies do not belong here.
All of these agencies are funded by taxpayer dollars, and they're being deputized for things that they're not authorized to do. And you know, that's a misuse of public funds. And I think protesters have every right to be out here.
Not one more!
Deportation! Protesters also gathered in Chicago today to send the same message to the Trump administration, demanding an end to ICE operations. The group held a rally at Federal Plaza before marching through the streets of downtown. So everything is calm here once again. Like I said, that entire area remains shut down. They will not be allowing protesters or anyone else near that facility for the time being. Governor J.B. Pritzker also sharing a statement tonight about the federal escalation that we have seen here today, saying it's another effort by the Trump administration to intimidate people in Illinois, and he's urging people to remain calm in all of these situations and document everything.
Home DHS releasing images.
They're definitely actually doing stuff in Chicago. Like, they're making it clear. They're making it clear that they're doing stuff. They're gonna get stuff done, whether they like it or not. Whether they like it or not. And they're
they
not
say were
powerful enough to
confiscated
stop it.
from anti-ICE protesters outside a Chicago ICE facility. Officials say 11 rioters were arrested after agents used pepper balls and tear gas to clear the crowds during an aggressive standoff. DHS says they also launched an investigation after discovering an apparent...
They found guns. They was trying to shoot ICE. They was really trying to shoot ICE. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Because Chicago is known for that type of violence. Why wouldn't there be any of that? So people actually getting killed during these entire protests and these, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, man. But let me know y'all thoughts about this down in the comments below. I'd really like to know y'all thoughts. There's a video that
8 minutes now after the hour.
I saw. I think it was a bicycle guy. There it is. This is what they're doing. This is what they're doing, y'all. In Chicago, the people that, you know, do DoorDash, this is what they're doing. Look at this.
What's up?
He's out of there, though. He's out of there, though. He got away. He got away, though. Kudos to him for getting away. But this is what they're doing out here in these streets. A bunch of fat guys. Look at this guy. This guy is a big guy. I can't lie. Bunch of white men, we'll be honest. Fat guys. Masked. Some not masked, but a lot masked. Chasing people out in the streets for doing DoorDash. This is what we've come to in 2025, man. I mean, it looks really suspect. It does. Let's continue. I don't know why I found it a little funny too, but so what if this was a citizen? Like, what if he was a regular person? How do they know? How do they actually know? But they're finding ways, man. They are finding ways. It's crazy. But he got away. He got away. He lives to see another delivery day. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson criticized federal agents for intimidation. He has no power. No power. The only thing that can stop this is the people. The actual people. It says, wow, ICE Nazi in Chicago tried to kidnap this food delivery worker, but the guy was too fast for those ICE agents. Shout out to the e-bikes, man. Them e-bikes are fast. Them e-bikes are fast. No lie.
Subscribe to One in.
Let me know y'all thoughts about that down in the comments below, man. I really like to know your thoughts. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all viewership. We're gonna move on to the next subject, man. We're gonna move on to the next subject. Where did I have that under this? We're gonna get into the next subject and probably the final subject because I do have somewhere to go in about 20 minutes. But see if I can find this video. Where is it? Trying to see. No, I saved it here. Oh, I'm tripping. Now I gotta look it up. Let's see. All right. It was Jasmine Crockett goes after Byron Donalds.
As a member.
Y'all know Jasmine. Y'all know Byron. Let's tune into the video, see what's going on out here in these streets.
Of Congress. He'd still be living with the weight of those charges. So let's call this what it is, opportunities for me, but not for thee. He climbed the ladder of redemption, and now he's yanking it right up from the DC youth. See, most of us were taught to lift as you climb, but clearly, some have forgotten to lift as they climb, and now they are committed to telling.
In this video, we break down the fiery exchange where Jasmine Crockett shuts down Byron Donalds with what many are calling a stunning takedown. But beyond the theatrics, what does this moment really mean? As a right-wing patriot, I'm giving you the real analysis. Why the left is celebrating, why the right must stay focused, and how this fight reveals the deeper battle for America's future.
As I sat and listened to the beginning of this debate, my heart simply broke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in strong support of my bill, H.R. 4922, the D.C. Crimes Act. Rather than prioritizing the safety of law-abiding and protecting the lives of innocent residents and visitors, district officials have actively facilitated dysfunction and chaos through their progressive soft-on-crime policies. Instead of addressing the clear epidemic of youth crime in the city, the D.C. City Council increased the age of youth offenders to individuals 24 years old and younger, meaning fully grown legal adults in the District of Columbia can receive sentences meant for children. This is simply insane, and that is why I introduced the D.C. Crimes Act, which lowers the definition of youth from under the age of 25 to under the age of 18, removes the ability of judges to sentence youth offenders below mandatory minimum guidelines, and requires the D.C. Attorney General to establish a public website containing much-needed statistics on juvenile crime in D.C. The Trump administration's efforts have shown that lawlessness is a choice, and it is time for Congress to step up, adhere to our constitutional duty, and firmly address crime in the nation's capital.
Many people know me.
Is that a bad thing, what he said just now? Honestly, break it down. If we broke it down a little bit and really heard what he was saying about what he's doing with this actual bill and how the actual bill was before this was what it was considering, what was in it actually. You see that he's going about it in a way that doesn't really hurt as much people if you don't make this choice. If you don't choose to do crime, this is not going to affect you in any way, shape, or form. What is so bad about that? I guess because I'm not one of the type of people that is like, yo, I'm trying to get this lick. I'm trying to do some crime. I'm trying to rob somebody. I don't know if it's just because it's me, but what is so bad about not being involved in crime? I'm happy I'm not involved in crime. I'm chilling. Never been in jail. Happy AF. Like, seriously. I don't understand how you could fight against people that are literally doing stuff they ain't supposed to be doing and knowing damn well they doing it too.
Or being able to do alliterations, and all I could think about was amnesia allows adolescent accountability, avoidance,
crime is down,
agility from across the aisle. So work with me for a second.
He did nothing but
imagine being
money,
a young man born to Jamaican and Panamanian parents who messed up not once but twice.
Rights.
Imagine standing in front of a judge with your whole future hanging in the balance, and instead of prison, you are given a promise of mercy.
Got the rights
your record gets wiped clean. You get a second chance at life. Now imagine taking that promise and turning it into promotion. You go to college, you get a job, and even become a member of Congress. That's what redemption looks like. That's what America is supposed to be about. And that is exactly the story of the next wannabe governor from Florida.
Powerful people.
As a young man, he went through pretrial diversion for misdemeanor marijuana possession. As an adult, yet younger than 24, he was charged with and ultimately placed on probation for felony robbery
unless
charges,
we join together and
which
we
ultimately
take
were
over.
two expunged. He was given a third chance, and now he's the face of a bill that would not afford young people in Washington, D.C. the same opportunities afforded to him. Let me be real. If he had grown up under Donald Trump's America or under the very D.C. crime bill he's pushing today, he wouldn't be standing here as a member of Congress. He'd still be living with the weight of those charges. So let's call this what it is, opportunities for me, but not for thee. He climbed the ladder of redemption, and now he's yanking it right up from the D.C. youth. See, most of us were taught to lift as you climb, but clearly some have forgotten to lift as they climb, and now they are committed to telling the next generation to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. I will not sit quiet while a man who was saved by grace turns around and tries to snatch grace away from others. If we're going to be real about crime, about communities,
lady's time has expired.
I'd like to yield for an additional minute, please.
Gentlewoman is recognized.
About second chances and even third chances, then It needs to start with us looking in the mirror and remembering that even the author of this bill has a story too before he tries to lecture DC on safety. And it would be complete hypocrisy to have, hypothetically, someone convicted of 34 felonies to lecture DC on what to do with youthful offenders who have been scientifically shown not to have fully developed brains under the age of 25, especially if said multi-count convicted felon was in his 70s when he was convicted. What would...
You see what I mean when she's saying, like, people under the age of 25 don't know what they're doing just because they're still kids? Like, when I was 25, I knew what I was doing. When I was 20, I knew what I was doing. When I was 15, I'll be honest, I knew exactly what I was doing. Now, if I'm in a household that don't really teach, you know, like my parents didn't really teach me what good is or what you should be doing out here in these streets, like, then I'd probably fall into the same statistic and the same category as a lot of people that claim that they do. But no, I was not raised that way. And I would hope that you weren't raised that way to think that it is okay to be out here doing crime. It's not okay to be out here shooting each other in the streets. It's not okay to be out here robbing people. It's not okay to be out here, and it doesn't matter what color you are. If you white, black, Asian, Hispanic, I'm sure in China they have their issues. Yo, crime is crime. Crime is crime. And we got to be honest here. We don't need that.
See his excuse.
We don't need it.
Because his brain would be fully developed. And with that, I will yield back.
Welcome back to Defeats, the channel where we cut through the noise, expose the truth, and give you the real breakdown of what's happening in Washington. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like so we can keep bringing you the analysis the mainstream won't give you. Now, let's talk about the fireworks that just went down. The clip we're reacting to shows Representative Jasmine Crockett completely shutting down Byron Donalds in a heated exchange. On the surface, the left is cheering this moment as another example of Crockett being sharp, quick, and unrelenting. She called out what she sees as Donald's hypocrisy, and I'll be honest, her delivery was powerful. She doesn't hold back, she speaks with conviction, and she knows how to land her words like punches. That's why so many people on her side love her. But here's where I step in as a right-wing patriot. Let's look at what's really going on beneath the performance. Crockett framed Donalds as hypocritical, but that's the easy part. Every politician has inconsistencies, hers included. What she's doing here is taking one piece of his argument and turning it into a weapon, not to expose the truth, but to score points. That's the game. And the crowd eats it up because she delivers it like a knockout blow. The reality is, Byron Donalds has been one of the few Republicans willing to stand toe-to-toe with the left and call things out from a conservative perspective. Does he always get it perfectly right? No. But his voice matters because he's not afraid to push back against the narrative. Crockett attacking him in this way is less about exposing hypocrisy and more about silencing that pushback. What we're witnessing is political theater at its finest. Crockett shines in that arena, and Donalds ends up looking like the villain because she controlled the stage. But here's the bigger question. Are we actually addressing the issues Americans care about? Are we talking about inflation, crime, the border, or the fact that families are struggling to get by? Or are we just being distracted by verbal battles that rack up views online? As a right-wing patriot, I see through the theatrics. Crockett may have landed a moment, but moments don't fix the problems in this country. What fixes them is policy, leadership, and the courage to make tough decisions.
I don't even think none of it landed for sure. In my opinion, I know she's saying she thinks it landed, but I don't think it landed. I don't think it really hit. It really hit me that a 25-year-old man doesn't know what he's doing. Or a 20-year-old man doesn't know what he's doing because his frontal lobe is not fully grown. Like, seriously, no. I'm not having it. I'm sorry. I'm not having it. I'm a man. I'm 20. I've been 25. I've been 20. I've been 15 and I know what is right from wrong, and I know what the law is, and I know to respect the law regardless of how I feel about it. If I feel some type of way about the law, I must come up with a better solution to fix it. And if the solution is not good enough for the majority of people that are trying to vote for this law, that makes sense to why whatever you're saying isn't following through. It makes sense to why people are not agreeing with you as much as you would want them to, because again, they just don't agree with what you're bringing to the table. Let me know y'all thoughts about this down in the comments below. I thank you guys for tuning in. I really do. Unfortunately, I do have to head out of here. I know this was a quick one. I wish I could be here a little bit longer, but I got a little bit more stuff to do for the rest of the day. So I really do appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in again. Make sure you guys hit that like button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button too if y'all are new and if y'all enjoyed the content. We got more to come, more lives to come for the rest of the year. I got some more stuff to talk about. Of course, every single day is like something new in the news, and you know, you just gotta sit back sometimes and just take it all in, because you know it could be toxic sometimes. You know, it could be very, very toxic, and sometimes you just don't want to even look at the news. You just want to focus on something else. So you know, lately I just been like chilling, just been, you know, watching anime, just getting my head right, getting back in the gym, you know, doing better things. And I hope you guys are also pushing forward and doing those things as well, man. So I love you guys. I really do. I love you all. Thank you again. We gonna head out, and until next time, man, y'all hit that like button again. All right. Peace, man. Peace.